give me a front office perspective here. Should Jerry have informed his quarterback, who's been there 8 years, Dak, and head coach Mike McCarthy?
This is ominous for Mike McCarthy, guys, and here's why. Being in front offices for over 20 years, you sit between the head coach and the owner, and your job is really to play point guard of information. Hey, if we could do A, we can't do B. If we're going to trade for Trey Lance, it's going to impact short-term Will Grier, Cooper Rush, and long-term, obviously, it can impact Dak Prescott and that massive extension that could be there after the year. So if I'm the head coach and I don't know about it, when I go home at night, I'm thinking like, my days are numbered here. They don't respect me enough to know that this is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and anything we do, short-term, Molly, or long-term, could be hugely consequential. And for them just to want to treat me almost like a scout to say, hey, evaluate Trey Lance, that is a very unusual way of doing business.
Well, I don't have a problem with your position. I appreciate that. Actually, I'm very, very proud of you. That was very candid and lucid and clear and to the point, because I don't know if y'all know this, Swagu, but this man knows. I mean, I've always, I love Mike T. I've always called him Mr. CIA. That's my nickname for him. He's one of the few people on the planet, Swagu, I have interviewed extensively. And I walked away going like this, what the hell did he say? You know what I'm saying? I can't figure. I mean, I'm trying to get this information, but he talked, he was so eloquent and stated everything, and I got nothing from him. It was just amazing to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, it was a great interview, but he didn't tell me anything, so it's great. But I will tell you this. Mike T's right, and he would know, because certain things don't happen. What I've been saying, Mike T, what I've been telling Swagu and Molly all morning is like, listen, this is a different situation when it comes to Jerry Jones in terms of how he publicly came out and just appeared a bit more dismissive than ever. I mean, when you think about Jimmy Johnson, who, by the way, still ain't in their Ring of Honor, I don't understand that stuff. I mean, that don't make any damn sense whatsoever. I'm always on Jerry about that. There's no excuse for that, okay? But other than that flagrant omission with Jimmy Johnson, usually, even though he wants to be in front of the camera and he wants to speak, he's a bit more PC than he was the other day in speaking about how he didn't consult with Mike McCarthy nor Dak Prescott, and then in an unsolicited fashion bring up Jalen Hurts. To me, that was a dig at Dak Prescott, because what he's saying is, my brother, you've been in this league for 8 years.
Are we missing the huge point about what we talk about with this is about winning, trying to win a Super Bowl. This, like I said, Stephen A., this ain't about getting your team better for right now. And that's the point that I think everybody's missed. We could be emotional about it and say, well, Jerry's sick of it and he want to do something to light a fire under Dak Prescott and do all of that. Maybe it does, but this still didn't help you win a Super Bowl. Personnel helps you win Super Bowls. And Mike T knows that. That's why he went out and got Brett Favre when they were with the Jets, to win a Super Bowl. Not to motivate the rest of the team. Look, we need to be better at this position. Let's go change it. So if Jerry is using Trey Lance to motivate Dak because he don't think Dak is doing enough, Jerry, go trade for a quarterback that's better than Dak if you're trying to win one.
Swagu, I've got news for you. You're actually about to agree with me, because this is absolutely factual, and Mike T would even agree with this. You don't know whether or not it's going to help them win the Super Bowl or not, because it happened before the regular season even started. So the fact of the matter is, if you're doing something to light a fire under Dak Prescott, we don't know whether it's going to work or not, because the season hasn't started yet.
If Trey Lance gets on the field and they're thinking, hey, he's making $6 million over 2 years, am I really worth $50 million a year?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you a question. Mike T and Stephen A., because I'm tired of it. I'm literally tired of it. Put Molly on the screen, because I hear you seconding Mike T emotion and what he's saying. Let me ask y'all a damn question. When the Dallas Cowboys just traded for Trey Lance, did they get closer to winning the Super Bowl before they got Trey Lance?
No, I don't think so.
So what are we talking about? Did it help them, or did it hurt them, or did they stand stagnant? If they would have got Jonathan Taylor, what would our conversation have been?
Well, first of all, just because you saying damn before you asking the question ain't scaring nobody.
I
Let's
don't.
get that out.
Listen.
Let's get
By
that
the
out
way,
the way
the
first. All right,
deadline
let's
for
get that out the
Jonathan
way.
Taylor's
All right.
I'm emphasizing.
Okay.
I'm emphasizing all of this dribble you and Mike Tannenbaum spewing.
Because it's not about you keep thinking about Trey Lance. I told you earlier in the show. It's not about
I'm not
Trey
thinking
Lance.
about Trey Lance.
We're talking about how Jerry Jones reacted in terms of his communication about Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy and why he handled it the way that he did. Other point that I want to make, Dak Prescott's market value for a new contract, it's at about 4 years and $249 million with an average annual salary of $49.7 million. His current average annual is $40 million. This is the things that Jerry Jones is thinking about as well, which Mike T will confirm. It ain't just about football performance. It's also about the money. It's also about the money.
Hold on one second. All right, let me say two things, Molly. I'm going to get out the way because I'm sick of it. First of all, if Dak Prescott not in Dallas, Dak Prescott still going to get $200 million to play somewhere else. We keep talking about it like Dak Prescott ain't going to lose his job and the Cowboys are going to be in a better situation if he leave and Trey Lance start at quarterback. We don't know if Trey Lance can play football. That's number one. Number two, all of the premise about the Dallas Cowboys is winning a Super Bowl or getting to an NFC championship. And I asked the simple question, does this move help them this year get to a Super Bowl or NFC championship?
No.
Both of you have said no. So it's a waste as opposed to go and get somebody that can actually help based on you saying the owner is facing his own mortality.
Yeah. And what's really interesting, though, Swagu, this to me is really the beginning of the story, not the end. We know that Jerry Jones is a great businessman, and a lot of people believe he was really rankled by how the last negotiation for Dak Prescott went. And I'm sure he's saying to himself, as that savvy businessman, I'm never putting myself in that position again. So today, in August of 2023, it's Trey Lance. But who's to say when we get to March, Matt Stafford with Texas ties could be available, Kyle Murray with Texas ties could be available. And I'm sure he's saying in the back of my mind, if Dak Prescott is going to try to leverage me the way he did the last time, I have to do a much better job of being prepared in the alternative.
It ain't going to be Kyler Murray, though. It ain't going to be Kyler Murray.
Before we get out of here, real quick, I want to get it on the record one more time. So being in front office for 20 plus years, being a former GM, it is unusual to not notify the head coach, and it's also unusual to not notify the starting quarterback.
Yeah, Molly, it's shocking. I would never make a trade for anything related to the quarterback position without definitively telling the head coach and out of courtesy, certainly saying to the
courtesy. That's Stephen A. That's the word I used yesterday. Courtesy.
Right, to tell the quarterback, hey, just so you know, like your best friend Will Greer, he's out of here, and your backup is no longer Cooper Rush. It's Trey Lance.
Do I get to ask Mike T a question before we go to break? Because my question would be this, Mike T. The fact that Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy were not shown that courtesy, what does that say to you?
One word, it's ominous.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.